Okay, we'll start with this per Ruhe Boxing. Ruhe Boxing Promotion is happy to officially welcome Sarah, the babyface Bormann, reigning WBO champion, to the team. Sarah will soon have a huge fight. Negotiations are in full swing, and we will let you know all the details soon. From now on, we promote one of the greatest world champions and bring her to the top together. Welcome to the team, Sarah. We're proud of you at Team Ruhe Boxing. Up until this point, Sarah has been boxing under the Dream Boxing Promotions banner, which seemed to have had a broadcast deal with the people at DAZN, making it possible for us to see her fights here in the United States. I'm not sure if that's going to still be the case moving forward. Sporting a professional record of 20 wins with 1 loss, no draws, 7 knockouts, having never been knocked out in 21 professional bouts, her lone defeat came at the hands of then unified champion Jessica Neri Plata of Mexico, who traveled to Sarah's native Germany and beat her there, beat her decisively. There's no shame in that. No shame in it, because Jessica Neri Plata really is one of the best fighters anywhere at or around these weights, and Sarah moved up in weight for that fight. She moved up from minimum up to like fly. For somebody like Jessica to take on the fight like that, it's a lot to ask. It's a tall order. So she has since moved back down to minimum, and she has since become WBO minimum weight champion as a result of Senicia Estrada's retirement. When Senicia retired, she vacated all the titles, and Sarah happened to pick one of them up. Sarah, that already has a fight on schedule for next month on the 13th against an opponent that has yet to be announced. Currently on a 3-fight winning streak, having last seen action earlier this year in April. The people at Ruhe Boxing say that Sarah's next fight is gonna be a big one, and that it is still being negotiated, which gives me the impression that maybe she'll be facing another champion, a champion like Sol Kudos perhaps, or Yuko Kuroki. If it's Ruhe Boxing at the helm of the promotion, I get the sense that it would be one of them. It wouldn't be Yokasta Valle, because Yokasta just signed to MVP. If it were Yokasta she were fighting, it would not be Ruhe Boxing at the helm of the promotion. It would be MVP at the helm of the promotion. But I just get the sense that they were talking about a unification match because they described Sarah's next fight as being a big one. And I know that they're a promotional outfit and they're going to say what they need to say to draw attention. But when they said they're planning a big fight, that's what immediately came to mind. What would be big for Sarah at this point if she's already a champion? A unification match. It wouldn't be a homecoming fight. She normally fights at home. She normally fights in her native Germany. That wouldn't be big. What would be big is if she's unifying titles with another champion. I give her good odds against Yuko Kuroki and Sol Kudos, but against Yokasta, she would falter, she would fail, she would lose. It'd be a good fight though, because they're both action fighters and volume punchers. They have the same sweet spot, mid-range to inside. It'd be a good fight, but Yokasta is the best in show. Yokasta aside, I believe that Sarah can beat Yuko Kuroki, who's lost 8 times already, and she's noticeably more experienced than Sol Kudos, with over 2 times as many fights. I'd give Sarah the edge in that one. We'll see what they have planned for Sarah, because a September 15th fight date, well, that's right around the corner, so those answers will come shortly. Elsewhere in the world of boxing, veteran boxing scribe Mike Kopinger took to his social media and stated, Vergil Ortiz versus Lubin are finalizing a deal for an October 18th junior middleweight fight in the United States on DAZN, sources tell Ring Magazine. Ortiz is the ring's number 2 boxer at 154, while Lubricant is number 7. Fundora versus Thurman takes place 1 week later at the same weight. And this is set to be a Golden Boy Promotions show on DAZN. It's not being financed by Turkey LL Sheikh. This is a regular Golden Boy show. Preliminary reactions to the fight were less than encouraging. People were left wondering, why is he going after Erickson Lubricant when he should have been going after either Sebastian Fundora or Bakram Murtazaliev, who was just in negotiations with Erickson Lubricant? Why didn't he go after him? To that, Vergil Ortiz Sr., Vergil's father, said, "This isn't true yet if it's Lubin who's next, because Zayas' deadline is still at 5 p.m. today. He's had the offer since Wednesday, I believe. I don't know how Ring Magazine can post this if Zayas hasn't completely turned it down." To that, Zayas himself posted email correspondence from Eric Gomez of Golden Boy saying, "This is not a real offer. Stop lying to your fans, Vergil." And the answer is yes. Come meet me in Puerto Rico. We knew immediately after Xander won the brown belt, the vacant WBO title, that his very next fight was planned for the island of Puerto Rico.
Since your first game to the
Thank you. I told you it was going to be a world champion when I walked in your office at 16.
Yeah, right.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
And I told Paco and Gustavo, your first defense is going to be in Puerto Rico.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
And this isn't new news. That video was uploaded to YouTube 3 weeks ago via friend of the channel, El Maestro, the night of Zayas' WBO title fight. This has been the story throughout. Whereas the correspondence from Eric Gomez of Golden Boy Promotions to Team Zayas was made this week at the very latest. And it reads, "Thank you for your prompt reply. It's a 50-50 deal. The venue could be in Nevada or California. As for the remaining details, we can work them out. Yes, DAZN would put up a fight night advance against a portion of the estimated pay-per-view revenue. What I really need is a confirmation that Xander wants that fight in December of 2025. If you confirm that, we can work on the rest of the details. And bear in mind, they've put a deadline on this offer that by the time this video is uploaded would have expired already. 5 p.m. Friday. It seems like they sent this to Xander at the very last minute, and they expect him to make a decision in a jiffy, in a hurry. Listen, I think this is just to save face. I think the people at Golden Boy are really after the Lubin fight, but they knew people aren't gonna like the Lubin fight, so they need an excuse. They need to make it appear like they were shooting for something bigger and something better. The same people who were just in negotiations with Keith Thurman. This is to save face. Vergil, adding to the conversation, said, "What is exactly so unfavorable about the offer? It's a 50-50 offer. You have time to recover and train for December, and it would be in neutral territory." Fighting under the Golden Boy Promotions banner is not neutral. Don't run away now. You've had 3 days to agree, and we haven't heard a thing from your side. If it doesn't happen, it's because he doesn't want it. He's had that offer for 3 days. You guys are only hearing about it now because we said something. Well, you're only saying something because Mike Kopinger said something, because Mike Kopinger broke the story that you're negotiating with Erickson Lubin. Why would you go to Lubin and not Bakram? Why would you go to Lubin and not Sebastian Fundora? You've been interim champion for about a year. You're his mandatory challenger. So this is a bit hard to reconcile. It's going to be hard for some of you to wrap your minds around this. But I don't think Vergil is afraid of Zayas. I don't think he's scared of him. But I do think that this is a smokescreen. I do think this is an effort to save face. When they sent this email correspondence to Xander, it wasn't with any hopes of making the fight. They knew he wouldn't accept it. You guys are not offering up enough money for Xander to cross over from Top Rank over to Golden Boy for that fight that originally Turkey LL Sheikh was going to pay for. Turkey LL Sheikh was going to put it together. That's the problem. And all of that was before Xander Zayas became WBO champion, you guys are not likely offering up the same money to Xander that Turkey offered to Xander. And when Turkey did that, you guys chose somebody else. You didn't choose him. You chose Madrimov. I'm not castigating them for it. I'm just saying, you're likely offering Xander less money than he stood to make before, so why would he take the fight now? Least of all, when he's a world champion. He's won a belt since then. You need to go out there and get one. If what you want is equal footing, if what you want is 50-50, you need to go out there and get one, because right now... What do you look like asking for 50-50 from a fight with him when he's bringing the belt to the table? And you're not. Fight's not going to happen that way. They know it's not going to happen that way. This is a smokescreen. The fight they really want to make is the Lubin fight. And before that, the fight they really wanted to make was the Thurman fight. This is a smokescreen. This is about making Xander look bad so that then it's okay for them to fight Erickson Lubin. Think about what Xander and his father said. They sent this to Xander on Wednesday. Before Wednesday, there were widespread rumors that they were negotiating with Keith Thurman. That would make Keith Thurman their first choice before Xander. So you were talking to Keith before you were talking to Xander? It was confirmed that they were in talks for a Thurman fight that then fell apart. And according to Team Ortiz themselves, they admitted they only sent this email correspondence to Xander on Wednesday, after things fell apart with Thurman. Likely around the same time they entered negotiations with Lubin. And it's likely Lubin that they're after, because it's easy to pull rank. It's easier to pull rank on Lubin than it would be on Xander. Xander's a world champion. You don't have to pay Erickson Lubin what you have to pay Xander Zayas. He's a world champion. You want him to come to your side. It's gonna get expensive. So let's make a long story short. I don't think Vergil Ortiz himself, Vergil Ortiz the fighter, is afraid of Xander, but this is all bullshit. This is not about making a fight. This is about making Xander look bad so that then it's okay for them to fight Lubin. Because that's who they really plan on fighting. The story is still fresh, so it's going to take many of you a little bit longer to process all of this than it takes me, because frankly, I'm smarter than all of you. You can't see through it. I see. You went to Keith Thurman first. And when that fell apart, you then decided you want to fight Xander on pay-per-view in December. That's how it happened. You went to Keith first, then Xander. And what, the Thurman fight, were you going to bill that as a pay-per-view? I mean, that doesn't seem odd to all of you? That they were well into negotiations with Keith Thurman, and only Wednesday did they decide to open up a dialogue with Xander, and they put a 2-3 day deadline on it? Why? A Zayas fight is bigger than a Lubin fight. It's bigger than a Thurman fight, to be honest. And because that's the bigger fight, well, why would you put a deadline on that? That's the big one. That's the only one involving a reigning champion. That's the fight that would actually take more time to negotiate than a fight with Thurman or a fight with Lubin. And you want to rush it. You want to rush Zayas, because underneath it all, you're not serious about making that fight. Did you give Keith Thurman 3 days to accept too? Did you do that with Lubin? Did you give them a 3-day deadline? Did you give them the same time frame to come up with an answer that you just gave Xander Zayas? 3 days or no fight? IBF champion Bormann Murtazaliev, reacting to this fiasco, said the fearless few of the junior middleweight division. If Erickson Lubin walks away from the Bormann Murtazaliev fight that he's been ordered to have, and he goes into the Ortiz fight, I think he's going to, because I think they're offering him more money. Fighting Ortiz might pay more money than fighting Bormann, even though Bormann is a champion. The fight with Bormann was headed to a purse bid, and God only knows if anybody was even going to put a bid in to stage that fight. So if you're Lubin, fighting Ortiz may actually pay you more money, even though it's not for a full alphabet title. Lubin is the #1 contender right now. The guy ranked behind him is the United Kingdom's own Josh Kelly, and I don't think that Josh is going to fight Bormann. See, if Lubin walks away, what the IBF is then going to do is go down their rank standings to the next highest available contender. And I do not think Josh Kelly is going to make himself available. Ranked behind Josh Kelly is Callum Walsh. And Callum Walsh, he's not available either. He's boxing on the undercard of Canelo versus Crawford against one of the Vargas boys. So he's out too. Ranked behind Callum Walsh is the Ukraine's own Sergey Boachuk in a fight that I would love to see. I would love to see Boachuk versus Murtazaliev. The issue there is that Sergey missed weight in his last fight, and I don't know if he can make 154, let alone with a rehydration cap per the IBF. Remember, they put a rehydration cap on the fighters for all of their title fights unless it's a unification match. So I don't know if Sergey Boachuk takes this. I definitely don't think Conor Benn takes this because Conor Benn is supposed to be fighting Chris Eubank Jr. again in the fall. Ranked behind Conor Benn is Jesus Ramos, who is not otherwise preoccupied. To my knowledge, he doesn't have a fight coming up, so maybe he would fight Bakram, but who's supposed to pay for it is the issue. Who's supposed to put it together? A Jesus Ramos versus Murtazaliev fight is a great fight to make stylistically, and it's a great fight for the hardcores, but it has no casual appeal. It's not a hot ticket, so who's supposed to pay for it? Ranked behind Jesus Ramos is Keith Thurman, who's supposed to be fighting Sebastian Fundora. Remember? And ranked behind Keith Thurman is Uisma Lima, who's supposed to be fighting Jaron Ennis. It pretty much just turns into a shit show after that. I mean, if it wasn't already a shit show. You may have to dip well past the top 10 to find somebody in those ranks for Bakram to fight. But that's what the IBF might have to do if Lubin walks away, and I think he's going to, because I think fighting Ortiz on Golden Boy pays more than fighting Bakram anywhere. Bakram may be a champion, but he has no marquee value, and he's not anybody's first choice. Even with a belt. Now, this is a big part of the reason I felt that Bakram should probably abandon ship at 154 and just go ahead and move up to 160. Fight in some WBA eliminators and target Erislandy Lara, reigning WBA middleweight champion who's not otherwise preoccupied with anything and isn't getting any younger. This may be the best course of action for Bakram because nobody down there really wants him. I mean, I don't think Xander Zayas is about to fight him. We know Sebastian's not going to. We know that Vergil Ortiz isn't going to, so what are you sticking around for? How do you know the same thing won't happen at 160, though, if he moves up there? Well, the point of going to 160 is that eventually, all these guys that are at 154 are going to end up at 160. And Bakram is not a small 154, he's a big 154. So for killing yourself to make a weight where nobody wants to fight you, you might as well do that at 160. It's a division that's barren, it's a division that's ripe for the taking. And if you position yourself sooner than later for a Lara fight, you can at least get Lara in the ring, beat him, and become a two-weight world champion. So by the time these guys start to move up, you're already established, you already have a belt, you may have a bit more marquee value by then and money behind you so that they can't avoid you anymore. Because just sitting on your hands and waiting for the phone to ring at 154, it's not working. It isn't. You can barely get these guys to fight each other, and none of them want to fight you. So it's time to move on. It's time to do something different.